So I'm not really sure how to start this video or even how to really go about it, to be honest. And a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk about, I feel pretty weird and vulnerable to talk about this to a camera and online. But if somebody watches this and they're going through the same things, I hope that this helps them a bit. And if nobody watches this, then at least I was able to talk about it and get this out of my system. But first off, I wanted to talk about something that's probably the biggest thing in my life that's affecting me right now, and that is disappointment in my career. Growing up, I always thought I'd be on a different career path than what I'm on right now, and I just thought I'd be further along in life than where I'm at right now. So dealing with those emotions and kind of that disappointment and just being upset about that has been very hard and weighed on me a lot and affected me honestly in my day-to-day life. I just thought I'd be somebody by now. And I don't want to attach, my entire identity to work, but when you're so upset and disappointed in one aspect of your life, it's hard to focus on all the other aspects. I just thought I'd be doing something greater than this. I thought I'd be a writer or doing something creative or doing something that had an impact on the world or society. And I'm actually unemployed right now, but I'm starting a job in a few weeks, and I'm super grateful to have a job. Don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful, but I definitely thought it'd be different by now. I thought I would be in a way different career path, and the career path I'm on right now was nothing that I necessarily even dreamed of or even really went to college for. And I feel like to get out of this career path that I'm in, I would need a different education or a better education. So I'd need to go back to school, or I need a different skill set, or I need more experience. And so even making the change, I feel like, has been so difficult. And honestly, I feel like it's impossible a lot of times. And I know it's not, but to me, it's just, I think I've gotten in this hole where I don't see a way out of this career path, and I don't really know how to go about it sometimes. And it's hard to understand, like, if the corporate life is for me, the traditional 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. It's kind of soul-sucking sometimes, and I feel like growing up you were always told like that's what you should have, and now that I'm in it, I'm not so sure anymore. But honestly, I don't know what my dream career is anymore. And when I try to picture it, I'm really not too sure what it is, or even if I were able to picture it, I don't know how to get there. I feel so behind. And I don't want to compare myself to anybody else because everybody's life paths are different, but it's hard not to when you feel so down on where you're at in life and you feel so behind in these certain aspects. And it's not even, I don't feel behind in like marriage or kids or anything like that, but I feel behind career, financial wise, all those aspects. So yeah, I'm still figuring that out and dealing with the disappointment and where I'm at and trying not to let it consume me and figuring out ways to kind of get out of that. But it's definitely hard. That's one of the biggest factors in my life that really just negatively affects me. But we're working on it. We're gonna try. Next on the list is finances, and this kind of ties to my career. And for starters, I live in New York City, and this can happen anywhere, but especially when you live in such a big city, and especially New York City, you're oftentimes surrounded by a lot of people who have really cool career paths, or they make a lot of money. And for me, I'm not where I want to be financially. I feel like the career path that I'm on right now doesn't supply me financially the way that I want it to, and I honestly don't need a lot of money. It's not something that I strive for necessarily, but I just want to like be able to afford things, I want to be able to afford my own place one day. I want to be able to save some. I want to travel, and I feel like I've struggled a lot when it comes to that. And this topic is probably my most sensitive one. I don't like to talk about finances to anybody except maybe my mom, but other than that, I feel very embarrassed. And I know I shouldn't, because again, I am grateful for where I'm at, but it's kind of that same thing. I just thought things would be different, and I thought I'd be further along by now. And it's hard when you're surrounded by people who are making so much more than you, or doing, I don't want to say better in life, but doing way better in life when it comes to those things. Third on the list is friends and feeling lonely. And this is another one that I kind of hate to admit, but I feel lonely a lot friend-wise. And I have friends, but something I do need to get better at is making time for friends and reaching out to them and planning things and following through with that. And also just making new friends. I'm pretty introverted and I like hanging out by myself a lot of times, but there are times when I do want to hang out with friends and go do stuff and plan stuff. And some of my closer friends live out of state, so we don't get to see each other much. So here I don't really have that many like best girlfriends, and I don't really have like a girl group, and I really wish I had that, so we could do like cute things, like plan a cute picnic where we all dress up and bring baked goods and drink coffee and stuff. And I have some really good friends, like I love my friends, they're great, but sometimes I feel like I don't have that many friends that are into the same interests and hobbies as I am. And I think that's fine. Like I love hanging out with the friends that I do have, and they're good friends and we do a lot of fun stuff. But I don't have that many friends that are into the same books and shows and movies and that type of stuff that I'm into. So when there's an event that has to do with that type of stuff, I don't really have anybody to go with. So sometimes I just wish that I had some more friends that might be more similar to me to be able to kind of enjoy those things. Like I want some girlfriends that read like fantasy and want to go to the Renaissance and go to balls and have themed picnics and stuff, but I'm not sure if I have that right now. But I am trying to get out more and be less introverted and meet new people and message people and make plans. So I've really tried to step out of my comfort zone with this one and do those things. I think this is the fourth point, but something else, especially now that I've started making YouTube videos, is I feel like my apartment isn't where I want it to be. I don't know if that sounds odd to say, but you know, and this is again not to compare myself to others, but you know, you go online, you see these people with super aesthetic apartments or homes, and I watch like some YouTube videos and these people live in like cute cottages and garden and do stuff like that. And right now I don't have my own space. I share an apartment with a roommate who's very good, but you know, I can't create the apartment fully how I want it because we have to be respectful of others' opinions and decisions and all that because it's a shared space. And I think that's fine for right now, but tying back to the financial stuff is like I want to be able to afford my own place one day, whether that's like buying a home or renting like a decent apartment. But in New York it's very expensive. Out of state I'd be able to, you know, have my own apartment, do all this, but in New York it's so expensive. And so figuring that out and figuring out also where I want to live in life, to be honest, I'm not sure if I have a place that I call home right now. And that's kind of hard to deal with as well, is where's home, and what do I want home to look like. I live across the country from family and a lot of my close friends, and I think there's still other parts of the world that I want to see and experience. So figuring out that, but back to the apartment stuff. Yeah, it's hard to build up a home and an aesthetic apartment and all that type of stuff. To be quite honest, I moved here a few years ago with barely anything. I had a few suitcases and my cat, and it's expensive to start completely over. And in New York, like I didn't have my car, so it was hard to go to thrifts and bring back home items and do all that type of stuff. So it's taken a few years to really even have like a bed and decorations. Because when I first moved here, I was literally sleeping on I think it was like a $40 mattress topper from Target. I didn't have a bed frame, I didn't have a mattress. I just slept on that for a while until I could build up my items and my home. But I do thrift most, if not all, of my home items and even my clothes. So luckily I've been able to build this up, and luckily my boyfriend has a car, so I'm able to like go thrifting and buy that stuff now, which I'm really grateful for. But again, it's not where I want it to be. Honestly, it's not perfect. I don't know if anything will ever be perfect, but it's definitely not where I want it to be, kind of like everywhere else in my life right now. And so yeah, since I started YouTube, sometimes I feel awkward or shy about showing my place. Even though I have I feel like it's a decent place. Like I feel like my room's cute, I feel like my living room's cute and stuff, but it's those little things that I feel like aren't where I want them to be that I get maybe shy or insecure about. But the home stuff is a work in progress, and I've really been trying to build up a comfy, cozy, aesthetic, nice, homey place that's very welcoming and that I enjoy being in. Next on the list is, this one's a little bit harder for me to describe for some reason, but I guess putting things off, not doing hobbies, overuse of screen time, kind of all those combined, and for me those intertwine with one another. So I try to limit my screen time first and foremost, but it's definitely hard. Sometimes it's just like easier to hop on TikTok, to be honest. And I think along with kind of all these other factors in my life, I've put off doing hobbies and trying new things. This also ties into me not leaving my apartment. I just sit here and I hop on a screen and I watch stuff rather than going out, trying new classes. But then trying new classes sometimes ties to, it's expensive. So all these things kind of factor into one another, and that's the really hard part. But with hobbies, I stopped doing hobbies. I stopped reading, I stopped painting, I stopped working out. Like, I stopped everything in my life, and I was just kind of in this hole. In these past few months, I've really been getting better at that. So yesterday I went on a walk in the park and I started playing tennis a few months ago, which I've really been enjoying, and that gets me out of the apartment. And I literally just go to the park and like hit it against a wall on the handball courts. That's been like a really good exercise and active activity that kind of gets me out of the apartment that I actually really enjoy. So I started doing that, and I'm really into crafting. So I started doing jewelry making, and I paint here and there. And I want to learn a few more things, and I also tried out kind of, making macrames. I did needle felting. I want to learn how to sew as well. So just trying like all those different things too. I also started baking last year, I think it was, and I've been enjoying doing that. And I don't do it as often as I want to, but I'm going to try to start doing that more and learning new recipes and learning also how to make my own recipes. And in addition to baking, I really want to learn how to make coffee, like actual coffee and lattes and all that good stuff. And one thing that I'm pretty proud of that I started doing this in fall of last year. I take a language class once a week. I've always wanted to learn a second language, and right now I am learning Cantonese. So I take a Cantonese class once a week, and that also helps kind of get me out of the apartment and talk to people, and that definitely got me out of my comfort zone. I was pretty nervous to go to the first class, so that really helped me get me kind of out of that comfort zone and just trying something new. And yeah, it really gives me something to go to each week and gets me out of the apartment. And I've been able to make some friends through this class. And actually tonight we're having our first study group. I talked to some of the friends I made in class about doing study group, and yeah, there's like 6 of us meeting tonight at a chai spot. And we're just gonna have a little study group, which is good because again, it gets me out of the apartment and I'm meeting people and talking, and I'm also learning something that I've been wanting to learn. And also just learning in general. I think that's something that I really miss, is learning. I really do wish I could go back to school, but having a class kind of helps me just keep in that mindset of learning and growing. And also at the same time, I get to speak another language and connect with others through this language. And by the end of this year, my goal is to be able to order at a restaurant in Cantonese. So we'll see. It's been very fun learning another language, and it's really exciting when you catch on to even just a few words in a sentence or can make the sentence out. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now, is doing the language class once a week. I try to do arts and crafts kind of often and be creative. I've been slacking the past like 2 weeks, I will say, and being active. I'm trying to play tennis throughout the week, trying to go on walks more. Sometimes I do home workouts, and I like to do dance workouts too. On YouTube there's like free dance workouts, so I do those every now and then as well, which is really fun and very active, I will say. It's a good workout. I guess some other things I'm really trying to do is journal, write. I do junk journaling, which is really nice and fun. I also started gaming, which is crazy for me. Like I used to have like a Nintendo when I was a kid, and I would play that all the time, and I had a Wii and all that, but I wasn't sure what games I would like, and I think I'm still figuring that out. But I started playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I am addicted. It is taking every ounce of me to not go play right now, to be honest. I love it. So I count that as a decent hobby, I guess you could say, that I'm doing right now that I've really been enjoying. Another thing that I really want to do is volunteer at one of the local gardens near me. I really want to learn more about gardening because eventually when I get my own place one day, whether that's like a house or something like that, I want to have my own garden. And I also think that it would be good to give back to the community and help in that aspect. I also want to volunteer for a cat rescue. I kind of wanted to be able to film videos for them and edit them or just help in any way that I could in that way. So I'm kind of looking into that as well. I sent in my application, but I haven't heard back, so we'll see. But yeah, I want to get involved with the community and volunteer and overall just like learn more, get out of my apartment more, learn more, try new things. I want to take some more classes, whether that's like art classes. I really want to learn stained glass. Fun fact, my grandma is an artist, and she was an amazing painter, and she also made stained glass pieces. So I want to learn stained glass from her really bad. I want to take like archery. I don't know, I want to do all these things. So this year I'm really gonna try to do arts and crafts, be active, meet new people, and not be afraid to take classes and try new things and get out there, even if I might not be the best at first. For a long time I just kept putting hobbies off, and I was kind of being lazy. I wasn't doing it because, to be honest, it was easier to kind of stare at a screen. But at the end of the day, that was harming me more than it was doing good. And I'd be very upset that I just wasted the day and didn't do anything of significance, I guess you could say. But yeah, I want to be off social media more and off TikTok and really just be one with myself and the people around me and create and go outside and do all that type of stuff. Another big one that I feel is a bit hard to talk about is feeling old and feeling like it's too late. And I want to say that it's never too late, but I think sometimes I get wrapped up in that idea that it feels too late and that I'm getting older. And I guess this ties into, feeling behind and not having more things figured out that I once thought I would have figured out by now. And I think as a woman, you're more pressured to stay young. Like you have to be young, look young, have it figured out. And that's been hard. Right now I'm in my mid to late 20s. And that's still very young, I know it is. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting older so quickly and time is going by so quickly that I can't keep up. And sometimes I look back to my younger self and I don't know, I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so pretty and fun and young. And now I'm just so introverted and to myself, and you start to see the aging on yourself, and that's been hard. And just feeling like it's too late to go back to school, too late to do this, too late to start something new and learn it from scratch. And again, I know that none of this is true. I know it's never too late, and you can be way later in life and still make a career change or go back to school or learn a new hobby or new skill. So I'm trying to keep that in mind, but I guess when you're in the moment, it's hard to really see that and understand that. But I think society overall just makes it seem like you have to have it all figured out at such an early age. And when you're past that age and you don't have it figured out, it's too late. So I'm trying to fight that idea that it's too late and understand that it's never too late and that there's still so much time and you can learn anything at any age and change your life at any age, and that you don't have to be young to be pretty and fun and cool and successful and all this other stuff. But this is a work in progress, and all of these are a work in progress, but I'm really trying. And last but not least, this is also, I feel like I'm saying this for all of them, but this is also one that's I feel kind of embarrassed to talk about, is my YouTube struggles. Oh my gosh, this one is like such a first world, all of these are I guess such a first world problem. Yeah, I'm not sure how to go about YouTube or where to take it from here. And right now, you know, nobody really watches my videos, which is okay because I created YouTube as a creative outlet for me and to hopefully maybe make a community and just put something out there in the world. It's kind of like my little virtual video diaries, and I was able to learn how to use a camera better and learn how to edit videos, which is stuff I wasn't really as familiar with beforehand, especially editing videos. I didn't know how to do that when I started. And I think I've had my YouTube for not too long. You know, I started it this year and it's March right now, so it hasn't been too long. But yeah, nobody really watches it yet or anything like that, but that's okay. I'm still learning, and yeah, I don't know where I'm going at with this one, to be honest, but I just hope to be able to have an impact on at least just a few people, you know, or create like a small community from it. And this is something that I'm definitely still struggling with understanding and learning about. And some people make it on their like first video and they have so many people follow along on their journey, but that didn't really happen with me. And again, like, it's okay. It's definitely, you know, a work in progress and it'll take time, but I just hope it works out, you know. I hope that a lot of things work out, and it's hard to not be negative and think that things won't work out, you know. So I'm definitely learning and trying to have a better mindset with all this. But overall, with all these points and everything in my life, I feel so lost and confused, to be honest. I don't know how to go about things or where to go or what I want out of life, to be honest. I don't know what my dreams and passions are that much. I don't know anything. I feel like there's so much that I don't know and I haven't seen and haven't experienced, and I am just so lost and confused. And life is hard. I'm learning that as I progress through life, is that things probably won't go your way, and you kind of have to make do with what you can and have a positive mindset about it. But oftentimes I don't have a positive mindset about it. I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders and everything's crashing down around me and things just aren't working out and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, just if you're struggling, just know you're not alone, and I hope that things get better, and I like to think that things do get better. I think there has been a lot of aspects in my life that have gotten better over time and through trying, and there's a lot of trial and error, but we're working on it, and yeah, things will get better, and we will learn, we will grow, we will create, we will have a purpose, and we will have a passion, and we will survive. It's going up from here. I'm saying yes to plans, I'm saying yes to classes, I'm saying yes to learning new things. This is a year of growth and learning and experiencing and enjoying life, because I'm finally at a place where I want to enjoy life, and I will try my best to enjoy it. But yeah, this has been a long talk, a long rant. But if you are watching, thank you for sticking through and watching this.